Oh, good. We're live. Yes. Howdy everyone. Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. And I think I figured out a way to pre-send my notifications that I'm going live to the people who've asked for that. So that I can just start talking when I do go live. So I'm really excited about that. I had a great day. It's Thursday. We launched the 5-day challenge on Monday, opened registration rather. I'm really excited about the people that I see registering. Some of them, it's just, I was talking with Armani, who is interning with me this summer, and I was like, oh, this is so good because there's so many different types of service businesses here. And I love that. It just means it's going to be a really conversation, a really rich community, and we're going to impact so many different parts of business for those that want to join. So I will tell you how to join the 5-day community free day challenge. 5-day Thrive and Flourish challenge, which is free. That'll start on July 27th, and it really is a fun way that I could impact as many people as possible for free. So you are welcome to join us. I promise you that it will be easy to do. I promise you that it will be fun, and I promise you that it will change your business. So today's topic really comes from another great article from PwC, and really what it is an outcome of their they did a survey of business owners and the strategies that survey illuminated as the things that business owners are working on right now. So I thought we'd share it. I thought we'd talk about it a little bit and really talk about how it applies to small business owners and what you might be able to use do and use in your own business. So sorry, I must be tongue-tied today. So it's really about how today's actions can position your business to thrive tomorrow. And that's really what we're looking at. A lot of businesses are impacted. I will say every business is impacted. Where you are on the range of not so great to really good is a different story. But every business really has been impacted in some sort of way. But if you look at it, is really what the problem is that for so many of us, we're caught off guard. I had no idea this was coming in February and January and December. It's not like I had a crystal ball that said this was going to happen. So, everyone really was caught off guard by it. I think also right now, I notice that there's so much fear and misinformation around things. Maybe it's because people are bored and have too much time on their hands. But the clear information and clearer indicators are getting harder and harder to filter it out of the stream of fear and misinformation that's going on out there. So it makes it really challenging to know what the right next step would be. And when we did our research, talking to as many business owners as we could, just about where they were, the number one thing we heard was, we don't know how to navigate this. We don't know how to take a step forward and feel confident that it's going to be a positive step. So a lot of people are really still quite worried. A lot of people are still unsure. They're scared, as is to be expected for a lot of business owners in different situations. But if you think about this, I part of me just wants to normalize it for you and help you understand that in a lot of ways, we've not been here before. For a lot of businesses, the last time we had an economic recession was 12 years ago, guys. And a lot of businesses are younger than that 12 years or started in that time period where you have just a different lens as you're looking at business and growing business. I think you're probably still a little scrappy. You probably have a lot more motivation and inspiration than worry, because Now, as your business is growing, you also have a lot more responsibilities, right? So I think that we have to keep that in mind, that we don't necessarily have a lot of experience to draw on. And even the last time we had a pandemic, if I'm correct, it would be the Spanish flu in 1918. And we're doing a lot of the same things, but even the chief economists, as they're looking at our recovery, are kind of taking a wild guess. They're going to be a U shape, it's going to be a V shape. Now, I thought a V shape was a lot more likely in April. I thought that was a lot more likely, but it looks like it might be a U shape, which means it's going to be a slower recovery, right? So we really have to plan for a couple of things. And that kind of just brings me back to the article. So really, if we're looking at what solutions, what are the actions that we could be taking, they mentioned maybe 6 or 7, but there are 4 that I want to talk to you about today. So the first one is high on my list, high on my personal list of strategies I like to use in my business, high on the list of things I see working really well right now. And I'm going to give you at least one story so that I can get onto the other points. But that first one is collaboration with others. I personally made a strategic decision to make collaboration a part of my business growth journey 2 years ago. And I've had some great partnerships. I've had a really strong partnership with Comerica Bank here locally. We've done a series of events together over the last couple of years. And what was so interesting is that relationship, if we've been doing, if Doug was watching, he would be able to tell me. If we've been doing events together on and off for 2.5 years, right? We met a full 18 months prior to that. Doug was actually sitting in a room. I walked into a room to do my speaking. That's one of my marketing strategies. Walked in the room, scanned the room, and I was like, I don't think my ideal client is in this room. But I still showed up, right? I still delivered value. And I walked out with a relationship, an introduction to someone that we were able to collaborate with. And that's one of those things I always look at when I walk into a room and I scan and I'm like, I don't know that there's my ideal client is in here. You never know who is in there, and you never know who they know, right? And that's kind of one of the strengths of collaboration with others, is that you're leveraging a big network. You're leveraging your own network, and you're leveraging the network of another person to really do something that's complementary, not competitive, and serves the end client, right? These are really great ideas. Let me give you just another example. Yelly Belly Chocolates, who is here in Addison, and I've been doing a couple of her events that she's had where she's partnering, she's collaborating. So one was a wine and chocolate tasting, which was very fun. And the other was a Scotch and chocolate tasting with Dalmore. And so in one area, she chose a Texas winery, and the other one, she used the partnership that she has with Dalmore to really create a unique experience, right? Again, there's a lot of marketing value to that. There's just a lot of good juju that comes along with that. And it allows you to keep on growing and to do things that might be challenging on your own. Maybe when you partner together with somebody, it's really takes it to that next level. And that's one reason why we're putting on the 5-day challenge, is because I do think collaboration is one of those bootstrap, duct tape, guerrilla style strategies that you can do almost instantly when you find the right partner. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about, and one of the reasons why we're bringing so many people together as part of the 5-day challenge. I told you I'm just like stumbling over myself. I'll try to slow down so my mouth can keep up with my mind. That's normally my problem. So let me do something real quick. I will put up here just in the banner the link to be able to do that. It is in the post right there. Let me see if I still have it in my No. Is in the post, and then I'll give you just a second. I'll put it in the comments as well. But when, so if that sounds good to you, we would love to have you be a part of the challenge and register for that. Like I said, we've got some amazing businesses in there so far, and a lot of varieties. So that generally means we're going to have a good selection. But let's move on to our next key learning. I love this. Take care of the short term, but scan for the long term. And that's the truth. Look, guys, I give you permission to do or make choices that are beneficial in the short term. There is, I always talk about there's short term, there's medium term, and there's long term, right? And you do need to be conscious about those ideals, if you will. And I define short term as like 90 days, medium term, maybe about 6 months, and then long term being 9, 12 months or longer. All right. So you should always have a good strategic mix of those things going on. But right now, it is actually kind of good to get a few more of the short term things happening. One, you're playing the odds. Let's just be honest, we're playing the odds. Two, it can give you quick results. And if you are struggling with cash flow right now, quick results are really good for you and can really just free up a little cash. So let me give you an example. So a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, my years all run together, I wanted to write a book. And I knew that writing a book was a big adventure, and that it would, the way that I do things, I am immersion. So it means I wouldn't be doing other things because I'd be choosing to do the book. Well, let me mute that. One of the things I did was I made a short-term decision to do a week-long job, if you will, project that generated cash that bought me time to be able to invest in writing that book. All right. That's something that I wouldn't necessarily do forever. It's not something that necessarily helps me long-term in my business, but it is a short-term opportunity that, again, was a win-win-win, right? That gave me some time. And I think right now that's so crucial for small businesses is make sure that you have time. Make sure that you are doing the things that, even if they're short term, even if you never do them again in your life, as long as they're ethical and honest and all that nice fun stuff. I'm not proponent of doing anything illegal, but doing those short term things that can help buy time so that you actually can take advantage of longer opportunities. So you can do things like join us at the 5-day challenge, right? And work on the business so that you can retool and find ways to reinvent and find ways to work in the marketplace that we have now. One of the key concepts is going to be the concept of being able to be flexible and agile. I think now more than ever, our rate of change has been astronomical, but now it's really important that you have a business that can shift. As the minute you see something, you can shift. And that is one of the things, like in with my business, my one-to-one clients, one of the things we do, we were shifting in a matter of days, right? Because we had that flexibility built in. We knew which dials to turn, if you would. And that way we could monitor where we were going, but also make those short-term decisions. So it's this stuff goes hand in hand, and it interlaces, and it's very it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you pull it apart, you got jelly and your peanut butter and jelly. That's a bit like what we're talking about with these strategies. They kind of bleed into each other and start getting a little mixed up in there. But really and truly, when you combine a lot of these different things, you can get traction. And that's really what we're after for you. 3 is have a communication strategy. Totally agree. This is not the time to be quiet. I don't say be a pest. I'm not a proponent of being the pest, but don't be quiet. Now's not the time, right? Have a communication strategy. Have those clients that you're reaching out to consistently. Have maybe partners that you're reaching out consistently. Let people know you're still here, and don't be afraid to ask. I had a client meeting yesterday where she mentioned that they were looking for new project work to one of her strategic partners. And the strategic partner goes, "Oh, I have lots. I've just been waiting. I didn't know you had room. Okay, let's go." Right? She would never have come across that opportunity if she hadn't been willing to talk. Right? Just pick up a phone, and I'm a big proponent of the phone, guys. Pick up the phone first, email second, if you will, and be able to do that. I think the last one that I want to share with you is we are still unsteady. I know in Texas, we're still having a lot of cases, right? And we've got school coming up, which impacts people's ability to even run a business. I know it impacts my ability to be putting in as much time and focus into my business as I'd like. I think you've got to have 3 plans. And you've got to have plan A, which means everything works really well, and this is our plan. And then you've got to have plan B that says we're stuck in purgatory for longer than we'd like, and this is the plan. And then you've got to have plan C. And plan C is things are not going as planned and they're going down, right? You, by having these contingency plans in place right now, puts you back into the driver's seat, if you will. It tells you when you need to get off the freeway and when you need to change lanes because the lane's going away. It is really part of that formula that gives you that flexibility to change. Conversation I was having with a client where we had a situation earlier this year, and we did exactly that. We said plan A, plan B, plan C, because we don't know how this is going to go. And as she was telling me what they're doing and where they are on this adventure, guess what? Those plans are getting activated. And I was like, see, that's why we did that. That's why we did this, right? So that you just had all the pieces and parts at your disposal to be able to use as you're executing the final part of that plan. So there's a lot of goodness in there. As part of the 5-day challenge, we're going to be opening up, really going back to your vision. A lot of people have had their priorities reevaluated. They've reevaluated their priorities. They're shifting in their priorities. So we need to tap into that. We're also needing to create almost new models in a lot of ways, right? For so many people, the supply chain has just been decimated. So we're having to create new ways to actually be able to earn an income and earn revenue as a business owner. We're also talking about dashboards and, if you could build a Waze system for your business, what would that look like and how could you use it? And then really starting to look back into the possibility. There's as much as knowing where you want to go and what you want to build in your vision, knowing maybe a little more of the mechanics of how to get there is really important. It just is like if you're going to take a road trip and in 3 hours from here, you're going to stop in Waco or Austin, right, to get gas, and you're going to stop at the Buc-ee's in Temple, wherever that might be. Y'all don't have Buc-ee's outside of Texas. We have Buc-ee's gas stations. Look them up. They're kind of insane. But you have these plans that you need, and that's really what we're trying to give you, is a way to give a navigation system to help you get back to where you want to be in your business. So I hope you'll join us. I hope you've enjoyed today's topic. As always, feel free to give me a shout out if you have any questions. I love to hear what those are, so that we can just make sure this is really impactful and valuable for you. So that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow's Friday. Yay. I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more. And until then, I hope your afternoon is wonderful and your day has been profitable. Thanks so much, guys. This is Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching.